Rene Sousa. Thanks for joining us.
What's up? This is crazy.
This is crazy. You know you made it when you get on Jits and Giggles, so it's your lucky day.
I'm ready for my moment.
Good. You just woke up, got here.
Coffee in hand, ready
Perfect.
to go.
I figured we would start with ibjjf since that was the hard part.
Let's skip it.
Well, okay, before we get into like specifically you,
Yeah.
just ibjjf in general. Do you have an opinion? You like the rule set?
Yeah.
Hate it?
It's just I like the organization of it, and I like the just it feels like a real tournament, you know what I mean, versus like how many times have we all gone to tournaments, I'm like, this is not real, there's no insurance, there's no like medic, you know what I mean? So I like the professionalism of it, but then the biggest cons that like really make me not compete for it are the rule set. Like I like that they know the rule set, but I'm a black belt. I've been competing for them for like 7-8 years, and it is my fault, but I don't know the rules. I don't know. If you literally had a test for me right now on how to score points and advantages, I would fail. No idea. I just submit people. Like I took third 2 years ago and 5 submissions up until the semis, and like I've never won on points. I won on points the first time like this last weekend, and I was like, yes, like I'm so proud of myself.
Did you know how?
Well, I knew that if I took him down, I'd score points, but I kind of almost messed it up because I was down by 2 points. So I knew if I got the takedown, I'd win. I got the takedown. I didn't control it, and I went right to his back. And I didn't know that the takedown, or like you have to hold. I knew that you had to hold the takedown for a couple seconds, but I was like, screw it. I'll take his back, and then I'll get double points, right?
Yeah.
But I almost didn't because I didn't hold the takedown for long enough. And then when I got on his back, body triangles, not points in ibjjf.
Was it just hooks?
So you have to have just hooks. But I had a body triangle and I had a rear neck choke. But like, and then time ran out. So it was like I almost lost the match, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I'd say points is the other thing that like, not just points, because points can be exciting like in ADCC.
Yeah.
But I just think they don't incentivize like action enough, you know?
Right.
Like in my quarterfinals match, the guy he scored 8 points on me, but like he just ran for me. Like you can't have that, you know? And then the other thing that I don't like about it is just it's like this one guy, he's like the number 1 ranked male adult black belt, like with the most points. He's like, yeah, dude, like I use that to get me a bunch of seminars. I'm like, yeah, dude, I bet you do, but like how much money have you paid to go to all these things? You know what I mean? So like for me, it's like even like since they took the pans out of New York and all that stuff, anyone I go to, even though I have some sponsors that pay for some stuff, it's $1,000.
100%.
And guess how much money I make when I do it? $0. You know what I mean?
So why do you do it? What motivates you to keep doing it?
The prestige, honestly. You know what I mean? Like you want to get the gold medal, and like for me, like I hadn't done any ibjjf this year, so I had to place in the absolute, got subbed in the absolute, and then or had to place in my division or pretty much win my division to get it, and I didn't. So now I can't do worlds. Which is like I understand the points for worlds. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, I just feel like and then if I win worlds, what do I even get? I get a drug test, and I don't even get a frickin', you know what I mean? Like, and one of the people around here, not gonna say who, but he was in my division. He took 2nd place. You could put it together, and he didn't know that he was gonna get drug tested if he like won. But he lost, fortunately. But in ibjjf, you'll get banned for weed,
for
marijuana.
Like life.
I think it's like 2-year ban.
Jesus.
So like he was about to win, and he's like, dude, am I seriously gonna get in trouble if I like smoked yesterday or took edibles or something?
I don't even understand how that would like give you an edge though. Like how
smoking weed?
Yeah.
Really?
You believe it does?
Yeah.
How
I mean,
so?
I grew up like being 10th planet guy, like smoking all the time. Yeah. And actually, like, there's a high rollers jar right here that like literally.
We're getting into that. Don't you worry.
I won high rollers like 3 times.
Yeah.
Won a pound of weed like multiple times. So for me, president time, I don't smoke, and president time, I don't compete with smoking, but everybody here does. Everybody with 10th planet does. And not even just 10th planet. I feel like in the jiu-jitsu community as a whole, a lot of people use like marijuana to like just calm themselves down leading up to a competition. You know what I mean? And not just like for competition, but it's their normal routine. You know what I mean? It's not something you do competition day, you know? Eddie Bravo described it one time as like, it's white magic or black magic. Like it is whatever you, but it's whatever you make it into, you know what I mean? So for me nowadays, I just like have been treating myself like a lot more like a professional. And like, I just feel like, there was just a couple days that I pulled up to training and I was like, oh man, like first of all, like just like today, I'm already late, you know? And then second of all, I was like, oh, I need to smoke. And I was like, I don't like that feel. I need
like
to smoke, you know? Like, so I just cut that off and I just feel more present, and more dialed in, like in that moment in a match than ever, you know? But I like grew up smoking and grew up, doing jiu-jitsu and smoking, and it's always been like a great time for me.
So just to get into that a little bit, because I guess I just react differently, but how does it give you an edge? Because it just calms you and lets you be more in the moment. Like, what is the edge?
Yeah, I think it just like lets you like be like, well, no, they're just saying it's illegal because it's illegal.
Like, like it's literally illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Like not in the state, but like it's the USDA or whatever, right?
I see.
So it's like, so is exogenous testosterone, so is like all these different peptides and stuff, you know what I mean? Cocaine, whatever, like it's just illegal stuff.
But like ADCC doesn't test for, so why?
For anything.
So why are they?
I think they're just trying to be like cool and like, you know, like just I mean, I do think it's the right direction of the sport, not to test for marijuana.
That's what I mean.
But for other stuff, you know, I would love to see these guys pop some tests for these guys I have to fight sometimes. That but yeah, the edge I would just say is like in competition, but in just training normally too. Like sometimes you just smoke and you're just like not thinking about all the bullshit that you would be thinking about normally, and you're just like just present and just like just like how you were saying, like, oh, I react differently. Like, I feel like a lot of people react in that way, but you have the choice to be like, let that go, surrender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think like why I don't smoke nowadays is like, I feel like weed is so strong that like I take the smallest hit and I'm like to the moon, you know? But you still have that. I believe you still have that choice of like just surrendering, letting go, and just like just feeling like that like calmness of it. And for me, it's just helped, like, I don't know, help me do like find my routes with the buggy choke. It's helped me like just be like just creative and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just wonder how many people have not been able to compete with them because they smoke. I feel like that would be like a very large amount of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's like, I don't know, it's in your bloodstream for quite a bit. So
I think we were like literally looking into it a lot. And I think if you smoked, I might actually know somebody that smoked that might have been on this podcast.
Hypothetically.
That
I know you're talking about.
That won Worlds and smoked the day before, and they didn't, and they passed the test. So apparently, the person's gonna know who I'm talking about. But apparently like weed, like when you smoke it, it gets out of your system in like less than 24 hours. But when you eat it, which is like
edible,
a really good way to do it, it stays a lot longer, like in your fat cells and stuff like that.
And they're not doing like hair tests and stuff, so
no,
that's even for
or
longer.
Blood. They're just gonna do pee. Yeah, you know.
Interesting. Okay, so guys, stop.
But
smoking weed.
but just summary: pros and cons of IBJJF, structure, knowing the time you're gonna compete. I mean, I thought I was gonna compete at 3:45. At 3:09, like right as I walked through weigh-ins, and I didn't really cut that much weight. I cut a little bit. They were like, "You're up." I was like, "I'm up." I didn't even drink my water yet. Yeah. It was wild. And I was like,
didn't even smoke my blunt yet.
In the bullpen, just like, but no, I was drinking my water and I was like, dude, like, and then like after the match, one of my friends was like, yeah, dude, the first time they call your name, never answer. And I was like, what kind of strategy is that? You know? But then the cons to it, I just like, I wish they could pay us. I mean, dude, how much money did they just make off pants?
100%. Yeah.
And how can they not? And I'm not asking. I think they could pay every absolute division, but come on, man. Like, we're black belts. You know what I mean? Like, I think we should get treated a little bit more special. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest con. And just like I wish the rules would be like a little bit more like not fast forwarding, but the PGF I watched this week. I watched a lot of different rule sets. Even CGI. I think CGI lacked a true transparency with stalling. The PGF this week really put it in, like, if you guys watch it, like really put stalling in, like, wow, I'm not gonna stall, or I give up like bottom referee's position, which like that's pretty much a back take, you know. So I'm not asking the IBJJF to do that, but the rules suck and they need to update them. So
so do they not have any type of rule meeting?
Who, IBJJF?
Yeah.
They have no rules meeting, but like the rules are there to like learn. But I mean the incentivization whatever word it is, to get people to not stall. It's just not there.
Yeah.
Like you can just evade. Like if you watch my match with my second guy, like I pushed him out of bounds like 7 times, and then he just like ran away. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with Thor's guy. Like Thor's guy was acting like he was passing, but there's a difference. Like, dude, if there's one ref in the middle and 2 refs on the side, and then 2 refs watching, you know, that was actually a really cool thing. I thought that ibjjf, like, credit to them. Even for my match, for like a quarterfinal, for a takedown, they were doing a video review. Like, that was so cool. Like, the guy was, like, in his ear, like, 1 second. Like, and I was like, wow. Like, for ADCC, they didn't do that. And this is, like, pans, you know? So, I don't know. I just think, like, everybody's just got to put their ego to the side and just, like, see what's the best way to, like, give the competition experience and also the spectator experience. Because then that's how we're going to get, you know what I mean, Jocko Fuel sponsoring us. You know what I mean? Meta, whatever, you know? Like, that's how we're going to get the big sponsors, making it look as good as possible. You know?
So how do you feel about ADCC's rule set? Like, feel better about it?
I love it, but I hate the freaking out of bounds thing, you know? And then same thing with, like, PGF this week. Like, I was even on the live stream just being, like, a troll, just being like, yo, build a pit, buy a pit. Because I'm an athlete, and I've been fighting before when I'm out on the concrete, and I'm, like, not thinking about defending the choke. I'm thinking about not letting my head get smashed in the pavement. And I'm like, this is not fun. You know what I mean? Like, so, is it another $5,000-$10,000? Yeah. Does it totally solve the problem of not going out of bounds? But not even not going out of bounds. You can't stall when there's a pit.
Right.
You know, and I have never competed in a pit, but, like, when I was coaching Fion at CGI, like, we warmed up in the pit, and I was like, wow, this is, like, number one, I would love to fight in this, because it's just, like, I would love to, like, have somebody run away from me, and now all of a sudden they're on their back, you know? But it just seems just so much safer than any other kind of, like, stages. How many times I've been on the edge of a stage, I'm like, I'm about to tear my ACL.
I always wonder that about you guys. Like, when I'm watching, even at, like, Fury, I'm like, I would personally be in my head just the whole time wondering how close I am to the edge. Is that kind of how it goes?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, if you care about it, you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
true.
sometimes you're so locked in, but if you're, you know, thinking about it, like, I fought Andre Prochowski like a year and a half ago, and that guy was pushing me around the mat, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna pull guard, you know? Like, I was, like, wrestling for a little bit, and I was like, all right,
before I fly off. And they have people, like, catching you or attempting to.
Literally.
They try to catch you from the bottom. I'm
but
like, I don't
just solve
that.
the problem. Build a pit, and then build the stands higher so people can see in. Cool. It's not the same VIP table experience, but guess what? Now you have nobody. Like, and guess what? Nobody's going to change until somebody dies.
Yeah, that's true.
And it sucks, but, like, you know what I mean? It's just the truth, you know? Like, ADCC is not going to change. All these other promotions aren't going to change until somebody's flying off the side of a mat and they just hit the side of, like, I don't know, something like the video of, like, Cody Steele choking that guy on, like, they were in the clothing racks.
Yeah, I know.
Like, imagine, like, I just see worst case scenario in my head, like, my head going into the clothing rack, like, my temple getting, like, you know, like, crazy, like, literally, you know. So
no, you're right. Segueing. So how did you end up working with Fion for CJI?
So I go to Essential a lot. So me, her, JT, everybody up there, like, we all trained together leading up till ADCC. So it was, like, the second camp I've done with them. So I did the 2022, and I thought that went really well. It was really cool to see her win. And then I wasn't coaching her there. And then just trained with her. We've done like probably like 2 Who's Number Ones together. And then it was maybe like 3 months out, and we were, like, sitting after training, just, like, sitting there. And she's like, oh, like, or I think maybe I asked her, I was like, oh, who's going to coach you? Like, because at ADCC, JT was there, and then Gabriel Souza was there, and they both had, like, just the 2 black belts from Essential coaching them. I was like, oh, who's going to coach you? And she's like, I don't know. Just, like, all, like, casually, like, I don't know. I was like, do you need a coach? And she's like, yeah, like, if it wouldn't bother you too much. I was like, bother me too much to pull up to ADCC and coach you? I was like, or CJI, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you know, so I got super hype. I was like, yes, I will be there 100%, you know? That's awesome. And I've, like, seen how anybody is, but, like, how she is a couple, like, times before competing. I get the same way, just, like, a little, like, nervous a little bit. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go over there with her in the morning and we'll just have like a ball of a day. And we just had like a really good day.
She's fun.
She's so fun. Yeah. Ended up meeting her mom. And her mom is just like even funnier than she is. Yeah. Cool. She's like, you could tell where she gets the like extraness from.
I love it.
But yeah, it was like a really good day. And then, yeah, she competed like, I mean, I crave to compete like how she just competes so in the moment and so like, I don't care what's happening. I'm going to throw you on the floor and tap you out, you know?
Literally.
So that was just really cool. But
awesome.
yeah, just being a supportive friend, you know, and like being there for somebody, like, cause like I know how many times I'm somewhere and like my coach can't be there and somebody like that. So like I'll just make friends with somebody real quick. Be like, yo, can you just tell me the time, and just if I'm doing something crazy, just tell me to chill out a little bit, you know? So
and that was a pretty big day for her.
That was a huge day, you know? And I think maybe like she didn't get the same like $1 million payday or like the same like light as like some other people did, but I think it really set the tone for like how many people want to watch women's grappling, and it really set the tone for like the next CGI. Like I don't know what Craig has planned. Craig's a psychopath, but I hope like there's something for them, because I don't think like I think that other girl that won ADCC, Adele, is really good. But I think Fion's just naturally bigger. I don't think she like should be cutting stupid weight for like matches where girls, it's like, dude, like stay at the weight you feel comfortable, you know, and just fight normal, you know, because like there's no reason to cut weight, put all your prestige on the line just to like fight. If she wants to come up, tell her to come up, you know. But I think like because she's like 115, right, like 125, and for Fiona to cut to 125, I think she's doable, you know. But I think like 130 is better, because that's what the old ADCC was, right? It was 60 kilos.
Yeah, it was at the second.
It was over
one, right?
60 and under 60, right? But then it changed to 55.
Yep.
And 55 is 125.
Yep.
Right? And then, so then 5 kilos, that's 10 pounds. So it used to be 135. Yeah. And she dominated at 135, you know? Took second once, took first once. So I think, I really hope that they have something cool like for them planned, you know, and maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's an 8-woman bracket, something like that.
Yeah.
But I hope
I would love to see
cool.
that. Adele's awesome. She's gonna be coming on, I think. Eventually.
Yeah, she's super cool. Yeah.
Did you go over to ADCC during that week? Were you watching both, or were you just kind of?
Yeah, just day 2. So just for the finals, I had like a friend that got us like VIP tickets, so we got to sit like mat side for it. It was pretty cool. But it was like so interesting. It was like, after CGI, I was like, wow, this sucks.
I was just
you know what I mean? Like just the attention of it, like so many mats and just like the rule sets and stuff. Like it was just, it's so cool to be on like the leading edge of things and figure out that like the way that we've been doing things isn't the best way, you know? Yeah. And I feel like that with our tournament here, the Finisher Sub Only too, because I feel like people come here and like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. We have so much like blah blah blah, like energy and style and like all that stuff, and I feel like we've been on the leading edge of that for the last like 7-8 years, you know. So I feel like the evolution of the game, it's like you can't stop it from evolving, you know what I mean? So I feel like you have to either like evolve or like just die, you know what I mean? Definitely. Like I don't know, there's been so many tournaments that like have Gordon Ryan on or have this, and then all of a sudden they're bankrupt in 6 months, you know. And it's not about right now, it's about like 5 years, 10 years. So
Yara and I went to both. I personally hate having multiple mats going on. It's not
so
possible
hard.
to watch all three.
Yeah.
And especially if you have 2 people or 3 people that you really want to watch, it sucks. I love when we were at CGI, and we had nosebleeds at CGI. At ADCC, we were very low. Yeah. But even being in the nosebleeds, like just having one match to focus on.
So cool, man.
It's like a show. Like, I don't know, it's more like relaxing, and the energy was just way cooler.
And I was like mat side for the whole thing, so I got to see it really well. But like I went up like to the stands a couple times to see friends, and it was like
still fine.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was so good. And I don't know, the first day was pretty long, right? But I don't think it was that bad, honestly. Like I got there at probably like 5 o'clock or something, and I stayed until like midnight, and it was like I was exhausted, but it was great. And the next day didn't start till late, so
that was a fun weekend.
It was really good.
Yeah. Speaking of Craig Jones, so did he coach you for Who's Next, or who coached you?
Yeah, he coached me for Who's Next. Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you get involved?
Yeah, so Zach actually is who got me involved. I was a high school teacher at the time, and I had seen the Flow guys in the summer. They were like filming for the Who's Number One. I think it was the championship that they did. That was like that Grace took second in. Thor got like 2 subs. it was like for 250K or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them a weekend before, and they were like, hey, like, we're going to do this reality show. Like, let me know if you're interested. I was like, dude, say less, but just give me the dates, because I'm like a teacher and I need to have the dates off. Yeah, long story short, they didn't hit me up until like a month before. And like I was in limbo of like going to Brazil. I'm Brazilian, so I have dual citizenship. So I was able to do 4 trials, or 4 trials, or stay home, do 2 trials, and do the Who's Next show. So the Who's Next was the day after East Coast Trials 2021. So I ended up signing up for that. But yeah, Zach was like the guy that put my name in there and got me in. And yeah, I went like literally, like I watched J-Rod do work at East Coast Trials. I watched like all these guys win. And then literally the next day we all flew out to Austin.
I was gonna say Austin.
And it was super secret. So it was like really cool, you know. Andrew Tackett was there, all these guys. And at the time, like, we really didn't know like how big it was going to be. We thought it was going to be kind of like chill. But as soon as we got there, we all were like, wow, this is going to be pretty huge.
Yeah.
And then we all had our matches. I fought J-Rod. I buggy choked J-Rod, which was pretty big like at the time. And he wasn't even what he is close to now, you know. But like at the time, everyone was just like, first of all, buggy choke, sick.
Yeah.
But then second of all, like I remember like Nicky Rod showing up and him like out of the corner of my eye, me just seeing him being like, what? Like, you know, I was like, sick, that's me. But no, they're super cool. But yeah, so like I remember everybody had their matches and we're like hanging out and they're about to pick teams, and I'm like trying to be buddy with Tim Spriggs, but not even to like be buddy with him, but just to like get Craig to like notice me in some way. I was just like trying to play like the opposite side, you know?
Yeah.
Because I did not want to be on Tim Spriggs' team like at all. But yeah, it worked out perfectly. Like Craig picked me, and yeah, he's like, from then until now, I mean, from now, like, he's like a complete different
Craig
superstar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like pre CGI blowing up and stuff like that, like he's always been like, and he still is like, just super down to earth. Like I could FaceTime him right now and he'd answer. You know, like perfect. He's like a super, like he's just somebody like that like literally like whatever you need. Like he awesome. Seems like such a big like super, but like he really is like super down to earth. Like even like I'll like. And I'm very careful about like how I text people like that, or like I'm friends with Eddie Bravo or John Jock, like, and I have their number. I'm not like texting them every day like, yo, what do you think of this move? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like leading up to big things, I was like, oh, Craig, like, what do you think I should be working on for like ADCC trials? You know, and like he would like text me back a game plan and give me
seems down to earth.
Super cool. Has definitely like corrupted me in some ways. But yeah, we can save that for another time.
Okay, you can save it for when we're done recording. You can tell us
no, but like on the show he was great. He coached us all, and he like really like has just continued to like give us all like a lot of cool opportunities, and
that's awesome.
Yeah. Taught us a lot about, I think, like even just like one-on-one on like marketing and stuff like that, and I don't know, stuff that like I like noticed, and then I was like, okay, like I'm gonna pick this up and do it myself, you know?
I mean, besides the fact that he's obviously like a jokester and like charismatic, like he's not dumb, you could tell, like
super
he's
smart,
doing big things. So even though he appears to be this like just funny person, he's obviously smart.
But that's like not taking credit away from him, that's like how kind of Australians are.
100%.
Like Australians are so
sarcastic
funny
ever.
And I think he's just like on a different level, you know. And then you just bring that to America, where like everybody takes stuff serious.
It's true.
And then jiu-jitsu specifically, everybody takes stuff so seriously in jiu-jitsu.
He's just goofy.
And I'm the same way. Like I'm like, dude, what are we taking so serious for, you know?
Yeah.
And then yeah, like I don't know, me and him definitely connected on like, okay, we're doing the things we have to do, and then like after we're done, we can have fun, you know?
Yeah.
And this guy has a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's true. I met like a whole group of Australians when I was studying abroad, when I was like in high school or college. And I was like taken aback, because I think I'm a sarcastic, funny person. They're like next level. Like
they will hurt your feelings.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I thought I was mean. Y'all but they're funny.
But you got to just take it back and just like
100%.
give it right back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
So is that when the whole buggy choke thing started? Was that like the first appearance?
So that was November of 2021, and then J-Rod won trials April of 2022 with the buggy choke.
Okay.
At that same trials, West Coast trials, I hit a buggy choke. That year I probably hit 3 more, like in just general competition, and that's like when the buggy choke revolution started.
Yeah.
And then it was just like since then it was just kind of like crazy because like everyone was like, you're not going to do this. And I was like, okay, watch me do this really quick, you know? And it's kind of gone past the point. Like I feel like that was like 2 years ago, and I'm like still trying to not buggy choke people. But even at Pants this weekend, I put this guy in a buggy choke. I was like, why do I have to do this? But it's just there, you know? But it's just the high percentage part of it. It's like guys know now like to not, especially against me, give me certain things. And then even if they're in it, like my success rate is probably like 60 to 70%, which is good. But guys are just like, I'm not fighting Joe Schmoes anymore. I'm fighting like guys who like will not give up unless they're unconscious, you know? So I'm trying my best. Like even at this Pans, like Flo was interviewing me and they were like, oh, like what's up, blah, blah. I was like, okay, I'm showing this new part of my game. If I buggy choke somebody, I'll give that person $50. And like I'm deep in this buggy choke. I'm like, dang it, I'm gonna have to give this guy $50, you know?
Did he come back for it?
No, I didn't finish it.
Oh, okay.
So I got it. He stood up and I'm like, he's like gargling, like literally like face purple. But like if he pushes into me, I'll finish it. If he stands in an up, like he was literally standing straight up. If he's standing straight up, like I'm not going to be able to finish it. I mean, maybe I could finish it, but I don't know. I just like the way I do jiu-jitsu is I'm never like forcing anything. I'm never just going to like rip on it just to finish it. Like, I like to like do the moves that like just they're helping me finish the move. Like if I'm just doing it the whole time, I feel like those videos of like breaking your forearm or hurting your knee are like super crazy. Possible. So that's not for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I already hurt. I got hurt like earlier this year. I had to take like 3 months off. So I'm like trying to do anything that's like not going to be too bad, you know?
That makes sense. Real quick with Who's Next, how long were you out there recording?
It was only 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So you were able to take off
so it was 2 weeks, and I was able to take off the like school, but I was not able to go to like the Brazil trials, but it was like a good deal. Like somebody like was just telling me, they were like, dude, like I love you, but like I think you're gonna do better on a reality show than you will at trials. So I was like, okay, I'll take that with like all good, you know? Yeah.
Are you a black belt on the mats, but a white belt around your house? No problem. Independence Interior Systems is here to save the day. They remodel bathrooms, kitchens, basements, floors. They fix and install electric, plumbing, and so much more. Don't tap out on DIY projects. Let Independence Interior Systems free up your time to let you focus on the black belt you're meant to be. Call 856-230-5987 for a free estimate. If you're in the South Jersey area, that's 856-230-5987. And
it was awesome, you know, and I feel like it really like, I mean, without Who's Next, like I don't think my life would be any close. Like I think I'd still be a high school teacher like how I was, you know, because it was like April of that year where I was like, man, I'm getting like not that many seminars, but maybe like 1 to 2 seminars a month. I'm able to travel and do some matches. Like my name is like kind of growing in stock. I was like 25 or 24 at the time. I was like, if there's a time to go for it, I'm going to go for it right now.
Yeah.
The high school teaching or whatever safe job is going to be here. Absolutely. You know? And I don't know. I'm like 2 years down the road and I'm like not wishing I would have stayed, obviously, but like I don't know. I like have a lot of conversations with like guys who are coming up nowadays and they're all like, dude, like they just, it's like week 2 and they're like, dude, all I want to do is train.
You're like,
And I just tell them, I'm like, dude, the biggest piece of advice, like I've been training jiu-jitsu 17 years, doing it like full time, like 7-8 years. And like, dude, don't get me wrong. People can have a school, they can do this and that. But like, I really think the best piece of advice, if you want to just train every day and you want to compete, is like find a job that you can do that's going to give you like a good income. You know what I mean? Because jiu-jitsu is not the way. Mm-hmm. And like, nobody says that though. Do you know what I mean? I don't hear anybody say that. Yeah. And like I'm that person that was like in my college dorm that I dropped out of college and I'm like watching the Craig Jones story on Stuart Cooper films on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm watching all these other Andre Galvão just lived through jiu-jitsu. And I believe that. And I went for it, you know? And it's worked out like 10 times more than I could have seen it. But like, you know, being 27 and like wanting to start a family, wanting to buy a house, like unless I open a school, you know what I mean? It's not the way, I think. So I think like to any like, I don't know, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, even like young 20s, I'm like, dude, find a trade, find something that you can do. Like, who cares if it's 9 to 5? Goal would be to be like remote. You know what I mean? I have Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at her, because I'm like, I have the perfect job.
Yeah, I have so many friends that make like $100K remote, and it's just like, dude, go lift and then come back and do your work, like whatever, you know. But yeah, I just think that people need to separate their passion from how they are established financially, because then it's like, guess what? Like, I just see not other people, but I see myself grinding for like, yo, I'm asking for this 500,000 or 500. I wish 500,000, but $500 sponsorship or $1,000 sponsorship, where it's like, dude, just get paid $4K a month from like a normal job, and you don't have to ask anybody for money.
Yeah.
And that's
or
true.
You ask and it's just a little extra.
And it's just a little extra, and you cover your expenses, you know. But like the 2 years that I was a high school teacher before Who's Next, you know, I made like 40, 50K being a high school teacher. I spent all of that money on like it was like 2020 and 2021. I spent all of that money on traveling. I went to like in ibjjf or like sub-only tournaments like in Texas, California, like everywhere, every weekend for like 2 years. It was like the year that I got my brown belt, and like first year at brown belt, I spent like literally $100,000 on just traveling, but it was not on sponsors or anything. It was all on me, you know.
How'd you juggle that though? Because you still had to teach, you still had to have curriculum.
It was what was crazy was that it was during COVID, so I wasn't even allowed to be traveling.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you really didn't travel.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good. COVID was fake. It's all good. It worked out. But like, yeah, it was like, I mean, the curriculum everything was great because everything was online. So all I had to do was post on Google Classroom and then check in on Google Classroom.
Okay.
It really wasn't that.
So it wasn't too much work.
It was not much work. It was like the perfect gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like every day was a half day. So it was like I had to be there from like 7:30 to like noon.
Oh,
it was so easy. And all I had to do was like pretty much, especially like I got in like the second half of 2020. So like June of 2020. So I didn't get to go through like the scariest parts where like everyone was like scared and like all this stuff. So pretty much like before that, kids weren't even doing work. So all I had to do was just make kids do work.
Right.
And I didn't even like, you know, but the lesson plans and stuff, I mean, I don't know. I did enjoy what I was teaching. I was like teaching engineering, like what I went to school for.
What grade was this?
I was high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's actually.
Yeah. So it was like the kids were interested in it and it was cool. And the kids that wanted to do work did a bunch of work, and the kids that didn't want to do work just did a little bit. But it was like what it took for me to get to that next level, you know? And then, but like through that, and then through like, you know, giving up that job and just chasing jiu-jitsu, and then just seeing all these guys, like, dude, guys coming here to the finishers tournament, we're not paying you, letting their legs snap. I'm like, dude, you have no vision for the future. You have no vision for like one day being a black belt and competing on who's number one or competing in ADCC, and like your foot can only break so many times. Like, I don't know who's telling these people that your foot's gonna heal. Dude, your foot's not gonna heal the same.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? So like, that's the biggest thing. I feel like I'm like just
take care
grinding on people to like be like, yo, get a job, take care of yourself, and like just be in it for like the next 3 years, and you're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? It's not about like, you know, turning into like an overnight success like tomorrow, you know?
Even as a hobbyist, like having a work from home job, taking a lunch class, training, maybe taking an afternoon class, and then
maybe afternoon
having
nap.
a hobby like this, like you can't beat it.
Yeah,
so,
100%. What do you do for work?
I do a lot.
Yeah.
Yara gets mad at me because I have so much flexibility. But I work for a life insurance company, and I do marketing analytics. Mm-hmm. So it's all on the computer. I could be anywhere. Yeah. My boss is really cool. He's like, do your stuff. Yeah. And let me know if you need help.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm trying to say for people to do. Like, find something that your skill set, right? So like right now I'm still doing jiu-jitsu, but I'm getting into a couple other things to like, to make more money. And like, and when people are always like, dude, just open a school. I'm like, dude, I want to open a school, but it's got to be the right time and the right fit. And like, I just still want to compete. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, the visual that I have is as soon as I open a school, I'm at least going to have 50 students in the first 2 months. And that's, my time's going to be divided by 50 now. Yeah. You know? So for me right now, it's just not what I want to do. And I just really feel like what people have to have an awareness with, and I feel like most people are just like, oh, I'm just good at jiu-jitsu. Dude, no, you're not. You just haven't branched out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like jiu-jitsu has given me so many like networking and so many like just like just like people. I don't know, I feel like I have a good understanding of like how to manage people, you know. And like, I don't know, I'm just taking that skill set into like my next endeavors and
Definitely.
trying to focus on like just something else. So then like the financial pressure on jiu-jitsu is off, and it's just fun, and it's just kind 100%. Of what it used to be, you know.
And you're smart because, I mean, jiu-jitsu aside, like I've seen this with CrossFit, with all types of things 100%. Where the problem is the coach wants to also be the athlete, and you can't really do both. Yeah. Like it's really hard, at least it's really hard to do both when it's a startup. Now, once you're established, I think you could do both. Like look at JT Torres. I think he could do both because his gym's established. Yeah. But you can't in the beginning.
It's crazy because he actually did though. Like the first year of his gym was 2017 when he won his first ADCC. And I feel like it's plus and minus, right? Yeah. Because I feel like why did that work? And I believe that worked for him because the 7 years leading up to that, he was at Atos, absolutely going through wars every day. Yeah. Now all of a sudden he goes to his gym and he doesn't have to sharpen his best swords in battle every day. He just beats everybody up and gets everything better. Makes you know sense. What I mean? So I feel like it can help in different ways, you know, but JT is definitely not like
he's like an exception to the rule.
He's like,
well, and I don't know much about his story.
So special.
Did he have anybody like when he opened? Was it just him?
Yeah,
like coaching?
Literally,
wow.
literally. Shout out to JT. It was just him teaching every class, cleaning the mats.
Damn.
Like his wife, shout out to Yolanda, like taking care of, like she kills it so hard. Like I wish number one I had like somebody just that I could trust like that. You know what I mean? Their partnership is like. She's so cool. Like she helps with like so much of like the design and so much of like the vibe. If you've never been to Essential's like the coolest school. Yeah.
We went with Fion actually, with Amanda and Fion.
And I really think that that's really instrumental onto the success of their school. And sure. I think in like 5 years, I think they're gonna own like a huge building that's just the.
Well, shout out to JT. Come on, Jits and Giggles if you really want to be popular. I wanted to talk about this. Yeah. About the what is it?
High rollers.
High rollers. That's right.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Did you play any part in that? Like whose thing is it? Please explain.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Just don't drop it.
Okay, hold on. I'm scared.
Don't drop it.
Okay.
It's heavy.
Okay. It says. Fucka.
Nope. You didn't read it right.
Okay. Highest motherfucker. Okay. Oh wait, let me get on the mic. Highest motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. No, so yeah. So I'll show you a picture in a sec. This came full of marijuana. Okay. 1 pound of marijuana. Every time I won, I got a pound of marijuana.
So who?
No, so I had nothing to do with this. It was the one guy I think is like one of Nate Diaz's like managers, and then the other guy is Wiz Khalifa's bodyguards and cousins. So they just had a lot of sponsors to put this together. And this is truly like when I look back on my career, like what was the catalyst to get me to the next level? Like this was one of the catalysts because it was the first like big tournament I won at Purple Belt that was like a big deal to me.
Yeah.
And then like the second time I competed on it was February of 2021, and I lost in the finals to one of my friends from 10 Planet Long Island. But in the semifinals, I choked out Andy Varela to get into the finals. So like even at the time, Andy wasn't that big of a deal. It actually created a little drama because like we're both 10 Planet, and like people were like, "Dude, Rene won." I was like, "Yeah, I won," but like we don't need to flex like that. You know, like I'm not somebody who's like posting like, "Yo, I beat this guy." You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like a really big deal to me. And it just really gave me a lot of cool connects. Like I'm like super close. Shout out to Big Lon and Breeze. They're these guys that like cannot even fit in the doorway. Like they're huge, like 380 and like just bad guys or great guys. But like I've seen them like, you know what I mean? Have to take care of some people. And it's like, ooh, I love that they love me. And like they act like teddy bears with me because I would not want to be on their bad side. But I get to go to like Wiz Khalifa concerts, be in his dressing room and like just like hang out with them. And just like it's super cool. But yeah, it gave me a lot of opportunities. They gave me like some sponsors like back in the day when I really needed it. And it really like just made me like believe in myself at the time, you know?
Yeah.
And at the time, like, sort of like the thing I was talking about, like in college, like listening to the Craig Jones story, becoming one of Craig's friends. This was like another thing. It was like, I remember being in college and like watching the first high rollers. It was like on a Vice YouTube video. And Eddie was like just saying all this stuff. He was like, the grand prize used to get you thrown in jail. Now it's a grand prize. Like, what?
It's true.
You know? And I was like, that's so cool. Like, I wish like one day I could do that.
Yeah.
And then long story short, I won the Brooklyn qualifier. And then from the Brooklyn qualifier, I went to Cali. They paid for all my stuff. And it was so cool. The whole team was there. Like Zach, a bunch of different guys came to support me. And I really just like had a really dominant performance and just really like enjoyed it. And then both times they gave me like a pound of weed, so it was like more than enough for like a year worth of time, you know. And it was just it was a really good time.
So if you can't get into ibjjf, come do high rollers.
100%.
Is this reoccurring, by the way?
Like, so long story short, with that, it was like at its height they had like a huge facility in Vegas. We're doing all this stuff. Long story short, money was mismanaged, not by like anybody I named before, but by like some just the wrong people. And they were making like extreme amounts of money, like not like $1,000 a month, like a lot of money. But they just like mismanaged it, I believe. Like from my perspective, because like I was an athlete and like, was I getting paid in weed? Yeah. But like, did I see them getting paid like more than tens of thousands of dollars a month, you know? And guess who didn't see that? The athletes. So like that's the hardest part when I like see promotions come and go. I'm like, yo, like I can tell by the setup how much money you guys are making. Like I can give a ballpark. And guess how much money I'm making? Do you know what I mean? Like I can put two and two together, and we are the athletes. We are the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think that a lot of people get into the promotion game to like put forward the sport, but it's not really. It's to put forward themselves and to get that hype for themselves and then get paid themselves. And I just think that like Zach is such a good example here, because Zach has like really never taken any money other than putting the money directly back into the tournament and paid for like mats or paid for whatever or paid for people's flight. Like he's always putting on for the next evolution or the next generation of grapplers, because it's like that's what everyone wants. Gordon, Marigali, all these guys, but it's like, dude, Gordon's gonna charge you $2 million for a match and then pull out the day before. How's that do for your budget? You know what I mean? Like, and then like for people like me or people like, I don't know, purple belts on the come up, or like people like, I don't know, Julian Espinosa, like dude, those guys would kill to just be on the stage, you know? So I feel like promoters like need to spread the money out better. And I feel like they'll have better matches, and then we'll also like just the community will grow more, and like rather than just like I honestly don't know where the money goes half the time. You know what I mean? Even like I feel like Flo does a really good job, but they could do a better job at like matchmaking, honestly. You know, I feel like matchmaking for Flo is like honestly like super whack sometimes. I'm like, and I love like out of like Flo Grappling, like almost every single person there, like I'm really close with, from the like Who's Next show and them helping me grow and like all that stuff. But I just feel like the matchmaking is so whack sometimes. I'm like, yo, who's in charge of the matchmaking? Because like you're just like, for example, even like when I fought Kiernan, I was like, I know this is a setup. I know you're trying to set this guy up because he's gonna be the next big thing. But like I'm willing to fight for it, you know? Yeah. And even then I fought Nikki. Nikki had the worst match of his whole life against me, and like, I mean, I didn't do great, but I fought pretty hard. And then he calls out Mika. I'm like, you just beat me. You can't just jump from like, you know what I mean, a little bullfrog to megalodon shark. You know what I mean? Like, whack, you know? But it's just like, I don't know. It's just how it goes. But I enjoy that, like, you know, CGI. I think one is doing good, but same thing. Who's matchmaking? Like, where are these guys coming from? Like, let me fight Kate. Let me fight Ty. Like, these random guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. I just wish they had more people having more opportunities and stuff.
Definitely. I think as far as the money goes, I think the competition's helping, right? Like the CJIs, like if we keep doing that, I think that'll force paying the athletes, don't you think?
Well, dude, at PGF this week, Ryan Aiken got paid $40,000.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did watch it last night,
So shout out to Ryan Aiken.
Yeah.
He is such a stud, but that sucks because, like, for example, Chris Wojcik lost to him in the finals. He didn't make any money. Yeah. Because his team didn't win, and then
he didn't win. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of things are gonna come from it. He beat a lot of good guys. Yeah. He looked really good. It's huge exposure. It's huge. Like, what I think is huge about it, and what I really like, shout out to Brandon from PGF, he puts the sponsors right there with the athletes. If you give me 5 minutes with a sponsor, I can sell them on the vision of who I want to be in 5 years. You know what I mean? And that's all I need. You know, some people are not good at that. Some people are like, oh, hello, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Like most of the jiu-jitsu career.
Actually, I was going to say you're naming a lot of people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, dude, wake up. Look the person in the eye. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, put your autism to the side. You know what I mean? And just talk to the person. Like, they're human. Like, you know what I mean? And they could help you, you know? And I don't know, like, you don't need to look at every interaction with somebody to get something from them, but just show them where you want to go, who you want to be. And if they can help you, they will. Or like, I don't know. I just feel like, a lot of people like don't want to ask for help, but I feel like if you just ask for help, maybe they can connect you with the right person. And I don't know. For me, I've just had like so many blessings of sponsorships with people and so many like great connections where I'm just like, I don't know. I will like connect with anybody and just like not even ask for anything, but just tell them what I'm trying to do. And maybe they're like, oh, did you know like this person here? And I'm like, oh, I didn't, but like, can you give me their contact? And like, I'll hit them up, you know? And it's made my life ridiculously like amazing. 100%. You know, like I get to travel and like I'm like, oh, I actually know this person that owns this coffee shop, or oh, I actually know this person that owns this steakhouse or whatever, you know, like it's just such a cool way.
I mean, anything in life you have to be able to sell yourself, and when it comes to jiu-jitsu, you are the product you're selling. And if you don't, you could be the best in the world. Look at Gordon Ryan. He knows how to market himself, he knows how to sell himself. If you can't do that, I think you're going to be very limited. Do you think, besides controlling your autism, do you think there's a reason you're able to do that better than others? Is it your education, just how you are? What do you think?
Maybe like just like the openness to like just share, you know? Like I feel like sometimes like I'll hang out with somebody and I'll just like overshare stuff that's going on with me. And then, but at first they weren't talking about anything, you know? But then I'll overshare stuff. And maybe like 9 times out of 10, like the person is like open to share back with me and open up closer because I was vulnerable first, you know? But then maybe that 1 out of 10 person's like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm just like, all right, that's good.
That's
you
me
know?
and Yara's relationship. I overshare and she's like, you're fucking crazy. She's like, you're fucking crazy. But so, no, you're right.
So I open up like that and I just like am vulnerable and I feel like that helps. And sometimes people are like, dude, you don't want to show people all your cards. I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't have many cards to show, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to grind out here, you know? But to me, that's been like a true like superpower in like connection too. Like, I feel like I'll meet somebody and if they're willing to be like, just like, I don't know, willing to be open and willing to like grow with me, like, I don't know, I feel like, and then we start training and stuff like that, like I feel like I'll become like best friends with somebody in like 2-3 months almost. Definitely. You know what I mean? Even like, for example, like me and Andrew Tackett, like we've hung out like maybe only like 6-7 times. Like he's one of my best friends. You know what I mean? We talk all the time. We're actually like planning a jiu-jitsu camp in the summer together where we're like gonna do like, it's gonna be like a men's retreat, and like my Christian pastor from California, he's gonna go, so it's gonna be like we're still like working on the name. It's gonna be like Jiu-Jitsu and Jesus or something like that, you know. But it's cool because like people like always talk about faith and stuff in jiu-jitsu, but they never like do anything about it. And I feel like especially like the direction that the sport's going in, like dang, we need some guidance, you know. Like Andrew's like almost 5-6 years younger than me, and I look up to him in so many ways. Like I'm 27, he's like 21. So I don't know, I look up to him in so many ways. Like he's just so locked into like faith and locked into like where he wants to be, and like look at where he is, you know what I mean? He's already, I think he could never compete again, and he's still like one of the best of all time, you know? But I think he's just scratching the surface into who he wants to be. And like this camp that we want to run, it's just like a men's retreat where it's like just guys, you know, and just talking about like, I don't know, I feel like especially in jiu-jitsu, like guys are just don't want to be vulnerable, don't want to share. And I just think maybe faith isn't for everybody, but if you can at least give it a chance and like also train the whole weekend, and it's gonna be like Lake Tahoe, like gonna be pretty cool.
I love Lake Tahoe. It's beautiful.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's very cold.
Yeah,
the lake is very cold.
It's gonna be in the summer.
Yeah, it's still
really.
Yeah,
Dang.
I went in the summer. We went water skiing. It was
maybe we'll switch it up then, because I want somewhere where I can wear flip flops and just be in shorts.
Yeah, like it's warm outside, but the lake tends to stay
okay, that's
cool. But maybe you're better than me. I just can't handle the cold at all.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you have dual citizenship. So how old were you? I assume you were born in Brazil?
No, I was born here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So but both my parents are Brazilian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go back pretty often then?
Yeah. So maybe like once a year since growing up, like once a year, like, and maybe when I was like in kindergarten to like 8th grade, like every full summer just in Brazil.
Oh, that's cool.
And my grandpa has like a coffee ranch there, so just like in the mountains, like
that's awesome.
running around in the dirt and stuff, and it was just like a really great childhood, and just like I don't know, really made me like super grateful for growing up here. You know, like definitely saw the difference in like poverty and stuff. Like life here is a lot better than Brazil. Like plus and minus, right? Like for example, like in Brazil, like just the community and the connection with people. It's like here, like you could not go outside your house for like 3 years and nobody would ever ask anything.
That's
like
true.
in Brazil, if like even if I'm there for the week, and like let's say I spend like Saturday night and I party on Sunday and I like don't go out at all, somebody will knock on my door on Monday and be like, yo, are you good? Like, and I'm like, dude, what's up? You know, like, but I'm like, yo, give me my space, you know?
Yeah, you're used to it.
It's just so cool. Like, everybody wants to do everything together, like have breakfast, have lunch,
That's nice.
you know? So like, that's one thing that, especially like, I just went back in March right now to do Brazil trials. I made it like to top 8, super close to placing. And I just had a really good performance there. My cousin was able to come see me, and it was just like, it was a really fun trip, but just a couple things I saw there was like, wow, like whatever I do in my life, like I'm going to like make sure I integrate my family into it, because like here in America, it's just like work. And then you're home and you're exhausted and you don't want to do stuff, you know, like, my cousin's like an orthopedic surgeon in Brazil, and he has like so many crazy hours, does all this stuff. But then it's like, he's got like 4 times during the week. He has like 3 different offices in 3 different cities. But like 4 different times during the week, he has time to like have breakfast with my grandma, have lunch with his mom. Like, that's and I was just like, and I'm not doing anything when I'm there, right? So I'm just hanging out with them. And I was just like, wow, this guy like saw 20 patients from 6 a.m. to 9, but now he's having coffee with us. And like to him, that's the most valuable thing. And I was like, okay, like that's really important for me to remember. Cause like here, I don't have that much family. I have like my mom, my dad, and like a couple aunts and uncles. But even like, you know, it's just so like in Brazil, it's like a small city that we live in. It's not a big city. So it's just like so easy to like just go see them. But here it's like so much harder. So I don't know. I'm like trying to work the next steps in my life, like whatever I can integrate my family into. I would love to see them all the time.
Do you have any siblings?
I have a little sister. Yeah.
Oh, she's here, right?
Yeah.
You speak Portuguese then?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Do you?
No, I speak some Spanish.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So when you do pans, do you feel like, since you are
well maybe because you make cool clips, we can put that clip up of me doing that. Have you seen that video? It's like today, like one of my friends was talking about it, and it's like I feel like it's one of the most. There's definitely a lot of viral jiu-jitsu TikToks, but do you know Kevon Gonzalez? We made this. If we brought it up, you definitely remember it. But it's like we went to Pans 2 years ago, and I lost, and we were joking that I wasn't Brazilian enough. Okay. So then we went to Puerto Escondido in Mexico. It's a beautiful like outdoor gym, and he's like, dude, I have an idea. Just follow me. And like I'm just like, content, let's go. Like I don't care. I don't think twice about it, you know? So the content was like, okay, ready? I'm about to walk out to the mat, Rene Sousa, and they're like, penalty. And then I walk out to the mat and I like kick my flip flops off.
I do know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? And then I'm like not praying, but I'm just like, okay, Rene Sousa, and they're like advantage. And then I like throw my flip flops, pray, and I'm like Rene dos Santos Sousa, which is actually my real name. Yeah. But now, and then it's like 2 points, 2 advantages, you know?
Yep. I remember this.
But then now I actually do that every time.
Really?
Like
That's smart.
100% double check. Like when I go to shake their hand, I'm like, Rene Sousa. yo, and not gonna lie, like you can't out Brazilian me anymore. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, do you think they could tell, or they just?
Well, they have to tell, because they're like, they'll be going to shake my hand and they'll be like, Rene, like Rene, you know, and I'll be like,
right.
Rene, you know, like, because that's how you say it in Portuguese,
no,
you know.
I know.
But then, and then just in like little exchanges, like they'll be like trying to talk to me in English, and I'm just like, no, Portuguese. And even if it's a white guy, I'm just like making sure that he knows I'm Brazilian, you know. So we turned that TikTok into reality, and like now I'm winning more matches because of it.
I was gonna say, and it actually works, which is what's crazier.
But yeah, so like
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
As soon as you started, I'm like,
yeah. It's a good clip. Yeah.
That went viral.
But it's true though. It's so true. Like so I don't know, because like I don't know, I've seen so many guys like lose just like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like I like, even if I never competed again, I love to coach. Like coaching almost like me competing gives me anxiety through the roof. You know what I mean? Coaching, like I'm anxious too, but I just like love to like just yell and just whatever. And it's crazy how at ibjjf, like if I'm speaking Portuguese to somebody who's American, it gives us more of an advantage. It's wild. It's insane. So like even the guy working the front desk right now, like the whole week he's been like, Professor, avantage, professor. Like, cause I was just yelling that in every match we had. And dude, guys won because I was saying that. And like even the one time I was about to, I don't know if you know Paige from Legion, Paige Yvette.
Who, you know,
she competed at ADCC, or she was really good. But she was in the finals of Pans this last weekend, and I was going to coach her. But one of my friends was on this mat right here, and you're not allowed to coach from within the bullpen. Dude, the head at ibjjf like lady, bro, she came up to me like 3 times. She's like, if I tell you one more time, you're not even leaving, you're getting kicked out. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, but like and then my friend won, and like I was like, I didn't tell him like, hey, you know, you won because of me, but like I feel like if it's not there, it's just like if I could add a little bit to like try to put it to that side, then like sure,
yeah, why not?
You know, because like the ref is coaching there, but he's thinking in his head like, okay, if this goes to ref decision, he's like, oh, this guy's got some Brazilian. Oh, okay, like you know,
it's true.
So, if I play a little part in it, you know what I mean. It's not much, but it's honest work. You know,
be as Brazilian as possible.
Yeah, just helping people out. You know.
Do you have anything coming up in the very near future?
I was supposed to compete this weekend. Unfortunately, I had to pull out, hurt my knee, and then no Worlds in December. Just gonna rest, man. Competing, like even like I didn't do CGI, I didn't do ADCC.
Yeah.
I did the camps for them. You know, that's been just exhausting. So just like I don't know, kind of taking a step back. Like the 2 biggest things I actually want to work on are not jiu-jitsu. It's like my mindset and my strength and my agility. So like just coming back from the injury, I hurt not the same spot on my knee, but like the same knee. So I'm just gonna be like, dude, last time I took 3 months off, like the injury that I had, it could have been like 18 months off. Worse than ACL surgery. So like I'm just gonna take like literally like 4 months and be like, and I feel great, but like I hurt my foot too a couple weeks ago at AIGA. That was really cool, but it wasn't cool to hurt my foot. But then, so just take the time on that and truly just like the mindset stuff. Like I feel like early at purple belt and at brown belt, I like was so dialed into my mindset that I would tell people all the time, like I go out to compete, I shake hands, and I'm like so in my like flow state that it's just like me and the person I'm fighting, and I'm like in a white room. Like I would be so dialed that it's just like no expectations, no fear, and I'm just enjoying it and having fun. And I think like in my earlier performances, you really saw that. But I think just as like I've gotten higher up in competition and fighting better guys, like just like naturally, you know what I mean? I've been growing up watching these guys, and now I'm fighting them. It's like I could have the Andrew Tackett mindset. It was like, screw it, let's scrap, you know? But it's just like embodying that is like a totally different thing. Like, and I scrap with like the best guys in the world in the gym, you know? So like just getting my mindset better. I just connected with like a really cool sports psychologist guy.
Nice.
So just like connecting with that, and people are like, oh dude, like just no, dude. That's a huge aspect of it, you know? And I really feel like the best people in the game, like JT, Amanda Levy, like they're like, when you talk to them, they're like locked in, you know? So just gonna focus on that kind of stuff until like I really feel prepared, because it's like there's no match that I'm taking nowadays that's not like a top 15 guy, top 20 guy in the world. Like even a couple weeks ago at AIGA, I hurt my foot in the first match, and then I'm fighting freaking Francisco Lowe in the second match. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and then like I didn't even know he was ranked, but he was ranked 5th in the world. And in the first round, I like popped his ankle, popped his knee, was like right on the line of finishing a heel hook. And I was like, oh, could have hit top 5 in the world, you know, it was like so close. And then he ended up attacking my bad foot. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to tap because I got to compete next weekend, you know? But yeah, so like just trying to recover and get back into the next. Yeah.
Would you do CGI if they asked you next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was in Craig's DMs bad. I was like texting him and stuff too. And he was like, dude, like I just have like a lot of spots already filled up. And truly, like I understand, you know, like number one, I really don't think, do I think out of the roster I could have beat some of the guys? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But I do understand what he did with the roster, and especially like pulling, like for example, if I had placed at Brazil trials and gotten invited to ADCC, 100%, I think he would have invited me. Yeah. So, and that's like business, you know? So I'm not like taking that personal that he like, did it hurt my feelings when he was like, dude, I just don't think you're ready. I was like, okay, you know, but what's in my control? And what's in my control is that I can get better and I can like prove it in the following matches that I have, you know? So, and if it's not going to be for me, then I don't know. I just like, I'm tired of like, because like for every camp you set yourself up, you're always like gold medal, gold medal, gold medal, undefeated, all subs. And then you get there and you're like, this is scary, you know? Yeah. So I don't know, just not going to define myself by like, if I get invited to a tournament or if I don't, you know, I'm just going to like, I want to take the pressure off of like being successful in competition jiu-jitsu and just like enjoy it and see what comes from that, you know?
Are you going to do any of the ADCC trials, you think?
Well, trials isn't until October, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe if I'm feeling good by then.
Do you think you would want to go the ADCC route and then let Craig pick you from ADCC to come to CJ? I'm just kidding.
No, I would, you know, I would do it for sure. But I think just one step at a time and just kind of like do the super fights that I can do the tournaments I can do. And really like I feel like just get a bunch of matches. Like I was on my way to Pittsburgh a couple weekends ago. And one of my friends texted me. He's like, oh, there's a tournament here this weekend. And I was like, oh, yeah? Like, he's like, yeah, like, do you want to jump in? I was like, I feel healthy and, like, let me go for it, you know? And I jumped in and I tapped 2 guys and took first. Nice. If you guys look in our mat 1 right here, we have, like, a bear cape. They gave me, like, a bear cape, 2 big knives, some money and stuff. It was, like, for, like, a veterans thing. So it was, like, super cool. But it was just like I was like no pressure on competing and just jumped in, you know. So we'll see what comes up during the year. But just gonna do stuff that like not only like respects me as an athlete, but also like I think is gonna help me grow and stuff like that. Because I love to do like something with a lot of matches too, you know.
Yeah. So. Anything you wanted to add? Any shout outs?
Nope, not really. Shout out to all. I mean, I would say shout out to all my sponsors, but everybody who sponsors me. They know, you know. Yeah. This is my newest sponsor.
Who is it?
It's cool. Aether Medicine. They're outside of Philly. It's cool. Like a longevity wellness clinic that I'm like working with. Just like I'm working with like them. I'm working with like I have a good strength and conditioning specialist. I have a good PT. I have another dietitian. I have another like holistic doctor. So just like optimizing everything.
You're covered.
Yeah. To like not just like compete well, but just to like be healthy and stuff. And I really feel like I am super healthy already. And I like really take those things into account, but it's like I really feel like at that next level, it's like the biggest little details that really
that's when
take
it matters.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
So they've been super helpful. So it's been cool.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
hopefully
for
it
sure.
wasn't too painful for you.
Yeah, for sure. See you later.
See you later.